Welcome to the Stephen and Michael Show, the only show on the internet that has as many fans as Clerks the Animated Series had episodes. I'm your host, Michael Ford.
Yeah, that's about right. That's all right. I'm unadulterated pirate pizza, Steven, whatever the fuck you want to call me. Today with us we got aristocrat Wolf.
Who's back?
Yes,
Finally.
it's been a while since we've had aristocrat back on here, and we also have today Curio of the Heart.
It's the
Hey.
new blood.
That's Curio. We have Curio on here today.
New blood. New blood. New blood.
Hey, not only new to this Hangout app in general. I don't really talk to people much.
And just like everyone else here, he's probably a white nerd.
Half
Well-
white,
Half white.
half Jewish.
If
Oh,
any of the
Jewish?
viewers remember when we all did face cam, it was like we all us three kind of have similar facial features.
We look like lost cousins.
I think Tierney thinks you and me look alike, Steven.
Oh yeah,
I
we
know.
definitely do.
A little bit.
Be careful, I might steal your girl.
Yeah, Steven, you look like me if I was, uglier.
Oh, you cut deep. Cut me deep.
I cut myself deep. Fuck you. You jerk.
What?
She said that if anything ever happens to me, she has a backup.
Backup, yes, you always need the backup. That's the best thing to have.
Kind of sounds like the relationship between Rick, Shane, and I forgot what her name, but Walking Dead.
Oh,
God.
yeah, that show that's still on the air.
But you know what's not on the air anymore? Adventure Time, I guess, which is kind of surprising.
Actually, it's still going for a couple seasons before then.
Yeah, we
Oh,
just know
well-
it's going to end.
I feel indifferent hearing about its cancellation.
Gonna be honest, I sometimes forget that it's still even on.
It should have ended 2 years ago.
I really should.
It really.
God, that show was on when I was in high school, wasn't it? That came out, what, 2010, 2011?
I was already out of
Something
school.
like that.
Yeah, I think I was in high school when that show was on the air, and some of my friends were talking about it. I think they were telling me how cool it was or something. I think I even saw a couple people with shirts.
And it was back then. It was cool. Early to mid seasons Adventure Time was really good, but then I think it might have been shortly after Rebecca Sugar left, but
Right.
it started going down.
It had this unique art style and unique storytelling format for the time.
It's like every other cartoon decided to rip it off.
Every cartoon after that is wanted to be the next Adventure Time.
Another problem is, and this is with the show itself, they always set up these big myth arcs, but then they would resolve them only
Immediately,
in the season
and
end.
there'd be no payoff to it whatsoever.
Yeah, it was all everything with the Lich. You'd get Ron Perlman, you get one of the most awesomely creepy designs I've ever seen for an animated villain, and then you just use them once a season.
Yeah,
And then you
they
turn
could have
it
done a
into
lot more with that. Yeah, that was weird.
Oh, Finn's
thought-
Arm, 5 seasons of build-up or so. Then, 6 episodes where he didn't have it?
Yeah, they really build up this villain. They build up a lot of things. They build up a lot of this big mythos around the whole thing. Finn's gotta go find his dad. Oh, there he is. He's an asshole. Bye.
Was that ever resolved? I stopped watching the show.
He meets his dad again,
As you say, Dad, fuck you, you're an
and
asshole.
his dad's still an asshole, and they don't really do much about that.
That's
We're
so-
doing fine this evening, Zorro Fox. We're doing fine.
Hey, Zorro Fox, I hear you're a dumbass.
I can't say I don't know if Stephen was here or Michael was here when I was talking about it with I forgot what to actually call him, so I'll still call him Hugh.
Hugh, yeah.
Hugh. My only really big problem I had with Adventure Time is when I first started watching it's like, hey, this is actually kind of cool and all that. And then it shifted tone in a way that I was like, why? As Hugh corrected me, he said, it's like if you took Johnny Test and then all of a sudden it became Samurai Jack.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it switched. It did. I think at first it did a really decent job with switching between, a little more serious tone and a whimsical tone.
yeah, like any episode with Marcelin and the Ice King's backstory was very well done. They always did a good job with that, but some episodes I feel like they got a little too pretentious, especially with like the Finn and Flame Princess love story,
Yeah.
or like, and they they always did. They've always been really good with visuals and stuff, but they were never really too good with paying off what they built up. I think it's because they started out as a joke series where you build up for a punchline, so that when it came time for them to try and make a deeper story, they don't know how to set it up and then have a good payoff because they're too used to just doing jokes.
Right. They're too used to doing jokes.
Jokes trademark.
Right, but you have if you want to do a serious show, you have to do a serious show. If you want to do a comedy show, you have to do a comedy show. But it's really hard to do a mix of the two. It's really, really hard. Which
Well, unless you have like a show like Samurai Jack where they like put in the tone like in different episodes. Like you'd have some episodes that was really serious, and then you get episodes with the Scotsman.
yeah, well, most of the episodes were a little bit more of the serious nature with Samurai Jack. Then they had a couple of fluff episodes to break up the pace. That's something different. A lot of serious shows do that, where they have the fluff episodes.
So like the one where the doll steals all his clothes. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
that kind of thing. But it really doesn't break up his journey. It's like he's still going on this journey, still going on this adventure. But this guy has it's like the hot springs episode, that kind of thing. It's just something to break up the pace.
Right.
Or like another show that did
Like the
that,
beach
Avatar: The
episode.
Last Airbender. They
Like Avatar: The Last Airbender. That was a very serious show. It did have lighthearted,
episode.
a little bit more lighthearted, and it did have the fluff episodes, to break up the pace.
Like
But it
I
was
think
still more towards the serious
a really
aspect.
good a really good example of Avatar doing a good comical fluff episode for the most part was Tales of Ba Sing Se, where they have much overall importance to the plot at large, but it did have some really funny bits, and then like the saddest moment in the entire show. Just
Yeah.
right in the-
Yeah.
I think we can all admit that we wept openly. And then
Yeah,
it
that was
it
a
was
sad moment.
such a whiplash because I think it goes right from Sokka having his rap battle to look, it's Iroh. He's going about, oh, it's sad.
Oh,
Well,
It's time to cry.
it's not even like that much of a whiplash. It's just like okay, we set everything up. Now hit him like a sniper. Because it's like even with Iroh's quest, it was just like, oh, it's Iroh doing Iroh things, and then it gets right to the end, and it's like,
yeah,
now we're
it's a
gonna rip
joke.
out your heart.
A little bit, yeah. But here's the thing: with serious shows, you can have comedy to break up the pace. But with comedy shows, serious things in there really screeches things to a halt.
Reach to a halt.
If you get what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah, and I'm right now trying to think of like any examples that might have tried to done it, and it's like, not really. I mean, the only thing that can kind of come up, but it wasn't even really much of a comedy, was House.
House.
Right. There's I've seen a couple things like that. Like Adventure Time is one of the ones that really had more of a whimsical tone, then all of a sudden it's serious.
Right.
Steven Universe feels that way for me sometimes, where this thing is a series that seems like it's set up to be an action show, but it's more of a
Slice of life, magical girl show.
yeah, it's more of a slice of life thing. And then they got the serious stuff, and then we're back to the fluff.
Steven Universe is so much better at doing dramatic stuff than
Yeah,
fluff.
but what I feel would be better if it was just a dramatic show with fluff instead of a fluff show with dramatics.
Instead of a show with fluff, or no way. It is more of a fluff show with dramatic episodes. I think it would be better as a dramatic show with fluff episodes.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah,
They probably have less bad filler that way, and less Stefani.
yeah. I mean, most of the show isn't going anywhere. It's like the entire show is filler, and that's what it feels like when you have a comedy that tries to have serious. It feels like, oh, it's all filler.
I think someone should just, once Steven
Hold
Universe
on.
ends, just make like a So yeah, once Steven Universe ends though, the fans should just make a like special edition DVD that cuts out every filler episode and just has the plot important stuff.
Kind of
Dude,
like
we'd have
what?
like 2 hours left.
Also, I have to say this now, and oh wait, Steven's there.
I'm back. What were you going to say, Michael?
Okay, I was gonna say this because it's not bothering me, but I just want to say, Jacob, this is not an insult, first of all, but you sound like the Edward Norton Bagel from Sausage Party.
I don't
Who?
know
Oh,
how to take that.
It's a compliment. I love the movie and I love that character.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
that's why you got bad taste.
So I might as well
He's my
just
favorite.
ask because I'm morbidly curious. You love Sausage Party like in a good way, like it's
Yep.
a pretty good film, or it's just so friggin' bad it's great.
No, it's a lot better than people give it credit for. It's definitely a pretty
5-minute
smart
food
film.
orgy.
Well, listen, it's actually not. It's not. It was actually foreshadowed right at the beginning of the film, and the whole plot of the movie is basically food just wants to fuck each other. Like that's one of their goals in life: go to heaven, get fucked. I actually watched.
To back it up for a second, Shitposter said, I mean, you gotta remember it's a kid show. Yeah, we know these are kid shows, but I mean, remember Teen Titans? That was a kid show, and that had plenty of action.
Darkwing Duck,
It was like-
Gargoyles.
Yeah,
Gargoyles.
I think Mr. Phantom's saying, I think your opinion, Mike, that your opinion's discarded. I don't know. I'm not.
Oh yeah,
My opinion.
Channel Zero.
Not-
Yeah, Adam,
My
yeah.
opinion is not. You can't just discard my opinions like that.
The Demi's asking if you heard of Channel Zero.
Which channels are that?
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, for our viewers, we're trying something new. We're having a Discord chat where people are in here sending us stuff and getting their opinions on shit we're talking about.
No, I have not. I've not heard of Channel Zero. But yeah, don't
Doesn't
discard
mean-
my opinion just because you disagree with me. I mean,
Right. But yeah,
I will fight.
kid. It seems we're
You
out of
can't.
the era of action kid shows. It's these things come in waves. Like before, you couldn't show too much action in kid shows, couldn't show too much violence, and then we had the '90s, early 2000s, where you had stuff like action shows. Like for example, Teen Titans. Where's some other good ones? Gargoyles. There's plenty. I'm just tired and my mind's drawing a blank.
Justice League Unlimited.
Justice League, yeah, the Justice League cartoons, all that stuff. We had some pretty good action shows, but now those seem to be out of the thing, and now we get lighthearted shows with a little bit of action. It's like
I miss the action-oriented shows. I know some reviewer.
hold on.
Oh yeah, I think it was Pan Pizza. He mentioned he misses where are all the action shows? We have enough comedies. It's when he was talking about how Teen Titans Go is a bad like reboot.
Mr. Fandom's asking about X-Men.
X-Men.
See, the weird thing is, no, like that branch of Nickelodeon stuff, Nicktoons, I think they were called. They had like Wolverine and the X-Men, and it was actually a pretty decent show. And I think they only did like what 2 seasons, and they canceled it. It was like,
No, they only got 1 season, which is a shame because Deadpool was going to be in the 2nd season.
it was just like, what the hell? That was great, and you stopped.
Oh, but to answer to Demi, yes, I actually think I know what Channel Zero is. Is that Candle Cove show? The show that's doing Candle Cove or adapting creepypasta or whatever?
Oh, I've heard
'Cause
about
I-
something
that-
about
Well, I
that.
saw a commercial for that. Been blocking it out.
That looked it looked like that seemed pretty interesting. If anyone could do something like internet horror stories justice, it would be sci-fi because they know how to. Sci-fi really knows how to be tongue-in-cheek and still, deliver something entertaining at the same time. Movies
Yeah.
like Sharknado and Sharktopus and
Since we're talking about sci-fi, this popped up in my mind real fast. Did anyone see that movie that was supposed to like come out when you had like that superhero reality show?
Oh, you're talking about Stanley superhero Who Wants to Be a Superhero or whatever?
Yeah, like the first dude who won the actual thing was like some dude who was like, I can take the abilities of video games, and he was a
It's like
winner.
some electricity hero themed hero, yeah. But he they did a movie. I don't remember ever seeing it. I don't think they showed it that many times.
It's like, yeah, it was like you're supposed to get your own movie, and it's like, did that movie
Yeah, they-
even happen?
Yeah, the movie happened because in the 2nd season of the superheroes, they show like a clip from it. So I know that the movie happened. I just don't know how many times they showed it. It could be a thing that they only really showed once or twice.
Like, I was like really interested too. So I'm just asking to see if
I
like
could try.
anyone
I
has an
could try to see
opinion
if
on
I
it.
can. I could try to see if I can find anything about it.
yeah, that would be interesting. Get this up for the viewers.
I'm surprised they didn't do like a Who Wants to Be a Sidekick thing.
Oh yeah, Channel Zero, there it is. Okay, but speaking of movies and stuff like that, let me tell you something about a movie I watched today.
Oh boy.
It is called Smiley. Have any of you heard of this movie?
Yes.
Ah, isn't that isn't
So
that
it's-
based on that stupid thing where I don't know. I think I know.
No,
It's a
not
meme.
based
It's a meme movie, right?
No. It's even better. It's basically what would happen if you took Urban Legend and Scream and threw them in the blender with a bunch of YouTube stars like Toby Turner and Shane Dawson.
Wow. This already sounds like crap.
So
Can we
you take,
emphasize
and
the
you take
input on stars?
you take a concept that would be perfect for like a very tongue-in-cheek horror movie in the same vein as like maybe Killer Condom or Killer Clowns from Outer Space or something like that. You take this, it's not a horrible concept for like a goofy tongue-in-cheek black comedy horror movie. And then you play it completely straight. You play it completely serious. This is a movie where the killer is supposed to be a guy who had a blank face that he carved a smiley face into, and that he is summoned by typing "I did it for the lulz" into 3 times into a chat room.
Watch out,
And
soon Hillary Clinton will have it declared as a terrorist movie.
oh
Hey.
god. And it's horrible because there are so many points where you have to listen to someone.
Okay, guys, I found it.
Oh.
I found out about what happened with that. The winner of the first season was the hero Feedback,
Right.
and he was supposed to have a movie, but he had a role in a movie. What was it? Mega Snake.
Go on. Go on.
Living the dream.
He was supposed to be in that movie, and the movie build it looked like it was supposed to be as they were saying it looked like he was supposed to be a main character, but he was actually a very minor character and was only on screen for like 2 minutes.
Ouch.
But he did get a comic book and some kind of a radio show kind of thing.
Hmm.
An audio series, yeah. So apparently that audio series is still going on or something.
That's pretty
Wow. If it's still going on, that's damn.
cool. Okay,
Because how long ago was the first one? That was like what, 2008, 2009?
2000, I think the first show was 2006.
10 years ago.
all right. So let me get back to telling you about that fucking shitty movie. Now that we've had one mystery wrapped up. So yes, there are so many points in this movie where you have to listen to people say with complete seriousness out loud, "I did it for the lulz." In fact, there's a scene where the main girl goes to like one of her teachers, one of her college professors. They're having this serious discussion about entropy and the death of the universe, and is there anything is meaning, and does evil exist? And then the professor says out loud, "I did it for the lulz."
Wait a minute. This sounds exactly like when Fox News decided to do a thing about 4chan a really long time ago.
It almost is. Oh my god! They even at the end, it's a stupid plot twist where it's like all the YouTube stars who were starring in the movie and like the whole group of friends who are like internet hacktivists just come out, take off their smiley masks, announce they did it for the troll army and Anonymous, and that Anonymous is a bunch of fakers because they're not into this sort of stuff, and they're like fucking lol, trolled her to death because they made the main girl jump out the window. But here's the thing. Last like minute of the movie, one of the guys is talking to one of the girls who was with him over the webcam. He types "I did it for the lulz" 3 times in the chat as a joke, and then the real Smiley shows up and stabs the girl to death, and then waves to him, implying he's gonna come and murder all of the friends who were just pretending to be him. And you know what? That is the legitimately only good part of the movie. I would have loved to, like, because like I said, Smiley himself is just such an absurd concept for a slasher villain that it would have worked if they had played this a little less seriously and had a little more fun with it. Kind of like Scream. Like if they copied Scream except for the part that actually worked. And that's what pissed me off the most. That and the fact that it sucked. But
Wow.
it sucked because it was an idea that could have been done entertainingly, and they just decided, hey, let's be pretentious instead.
Yeah, and I'm getting like memories of watching a review of Unfriended.
Oh god, I've never seen that, and that looked
It's
stupid.
it's pretty damn stupid.
I think I watched the Phaelus review of it, and it just looked fucking terrible.
Yeah.
I watched the review by Your Movie Sucks.
I don't like that guy at all. I think I tried watching a couple of his videos, and he just seems like such a bitter, miserable asshole who can't enjoy anything.
No, if you want someone who's like really bitter that I know you will not like, go watch E:R, because that dude has so far riffed on everything, and after like a certain amount of videos, he said, "No, look, see, I do like this. I do like things, guys. I do like things."
No, but
he has ripped on The Legend of Korra, a certain episode of The Legend of Korra, Mad Max, Star Wars, the new one. Life is Tumblr, Life is Strange.
I don't like this guy already.
Well, what was the first one? When he decided to completely insult Star Wars or Mad Max?
Literally everything you've said, it just makes me hate him more. Like every time you're telling me something else, I just hate him more.
Well, if you watch, I don't know. I think he does get a little nitpicky in other things, but he does bring up some good points. I think my favorite review is
When you say Life is Strange, are you talking about the game?
Yes,
Oh, that's fine then. That game's shit. That deserves to be torn apart.
Hey,
it's
relax. My girlfriend likes that game, and I don't think it's
I
that bad. I think everyone judged it based off of out of context.
I've played the game. It's incredibly cringy,
um
and it doesn't really go
my
anywhere, if anything.
from the review and by the looks of it, and even one of my friends confirmed it. My biggest problem, and I think this is like the biggest sin for what you could do for a choose your own adventure game, and probably even a book, is when you do a whole bunch of things and then it turns out literally one choice matters in the whole entire game, and it's at
Yeah.
the end.
Okay,
Yeah.
but by that logic, doesn't that mean like the Walking Dead game sucked? Because at the end, Lee becomes a zombie, or well, I mean, he dies.
I got a friend who doesn't like Telltale games that much because
Well,
they
this
give you
friend can go in
they
the
give you the
trash.
illusion of choice. They give you the illusion of choices.
Okay, but who cares? Like, okay, that's the thing. Who gives a fuck about choices? It's about the story. Who,
When
like,
you're
people.
playing a choose your own adventure game or something like that, a point and click game, much in that
Okay, but
way, your
does
choices are
Phoenix
supposed to have
Wright
some kind of
have
matter.
multiple endings? Does fucking King's Quest have multiple endings? No. You get like
Well,
maybe
they aren't, you
one
know.
ending, and then like if you die, you get other shit. But like, what is the big deal? Why does every point and click adventure game have to give you like 20 million endings and make all your
Well,
choices?
if you have a lot of choices in your game, the choices should matter. I mean, if your choices aren't going to matter, then why have them in the game?
Okay, but not every choice needs to affect the end game because that's unrealistic. If like every choice you've ever made in an entire game affected the very last moments, that would be ridiculous and absurd, and it would take me completely out of it because I know for a fact that not everything I do is going to affect some random moment in my life.
Well, it doesn't have to be super complex.
It doesn't need to
He
be
did.
every single moment, but a lot of them. There should be a lot of key moments if you're going to have a game where where you make decisions. Your decision should matter or inflict on something.
Yeah, if
I
you
don't
get to
know. I don't think it matters. It's not like in Mario the first Goomba you stomp in the game comes back later as the giant final boss. Like who cares? It's not that big a deal. It's about the adventure. It's a point and click adventure game. It's not a point and click
And
Destiny.
even then, the story's still bland as hell. And in fact, like the whole I think second part doesn't even matter.
Oh wait. Oh, we were talking about Life is Strange. I completely forgot about that. I was talking about Walking Dead.
Oh, Walking Dead? No, no. I was talking about Life is
Walking
Strange.
Dead season 2 kind of dropped the ball though. I hope they can
Yeah,
fix it with season 3.
yeah.
I've actually
But in Life is Strange, as Shiphoster says, for a game with time travel, it sort of ignores it whenever it's convenient.
Um,
Okay, but okay, back to what originally got this started. Your movie sucks. I
What's
fucking
this
hated
first
him as
chapter?
soon as I watched I think it was his review of Inside Out or maybe Zootopia or something. I remember it was one of those Disney ones, and he said that Toy Story 3 sucked and that you were stupid for liking it because it's just Toy Story 2. And
No.
immediately I knew I hated him and I would never fucking watch his videos because he's a complete retard.
I actually understood what he was trying to say because I guess it's like the same thing when people were bringing up that Star Trek Episode 7 has a lot of similarities to number 4. And it's like,
Do you mean Star Wars?
I say
Yeah.
Episode 4 for the.
You said No, the problem was you said Star Trek, not Star Wars.
Oh, I am so sorry. Already there's going to be nerds raging at me asking for
Let's
my
see.
head.
Let's see.
I totally meant Star Wars. Star Wars Episode 4. And how it has a lot of similarities with 7. And after it was pointed out, it was like,
That had to be pointed out to you.
I didn't watch Episode 7.
Oh,
But then how can you even? You'd have to actually see it so that you could base this off of it.
Oh, I'm not saying Episode 7 is bad or crap or anything like that. I'm just saying that.
That's like,
Go ahead.
sorry. I just want to say it's like I don't understand why people hate when, like, who cares if something is recycled if it's good? Toy Story 3 is good. Star Wars Episode 7 is good. It's like, just because they have some similarities to, like, a past movie doesn't mean that they're awful. It doesn't mean that they're the best in the series or anything, but, you know, you don't always have to top yourself every single time. Sometimes it's just nice to deliver a really good experience.
Hold on, Mike. Side note, because the chat's doing a thing. Yes, your movie sucks is indeed a furry. His name is Adam on Fur Affinity.
Yeah, we all know he's a furry. We don't need to go into that.
Oh, chat was doing a thing.
I just hate the idea that every sequel or whatever has to one up the previous movie to be good. It's such a toxic viewpoint because then
it kind of really does need to do something over the original.
like,
I mean,
yes, yeah, you're right, Stephen. It does, but like I don't think that every sequel has to be like.
I mean,
it doesn't have to reinvent the wheel. Sometimes it's good to just, you know, kind of similar but also different. Look at Die Hard 3. Also, hold on a sec. Hold on. Jeremy, what do you have to say?
Someone's.
I mean, you gotta understand that.
Danny said about sequels, can it be just as good but in the same universe? Can it be its own thing? Doesn't have to.
Yeah,
like,
but the thing about sequels is, like, do you want to watch the same exact movie twice?
No, but then like, still.
Isn't that what? It wasn't that a lot of people's problems with The Hangover 2?
Well, okay,
The Hangover was literally the same movie.
Yeah, Star Wars Episode 7 and Toy Story 3 do enough different. They just have a lot of similarities to past movies. They do different things. They have different characters, different plots, different endings. It's not the same exact thing. It's just there's a lot similar. I'm not going to deny that.
There's similarities. There's very strong similarities.
So
I'm not going to deny, especially in the case of Episode 7, that does take a lot from Episode 4. But you know what? It had new characters. It had good visuals. It had a lot of twists and turns here and there. It was nice. I'm sure they're gonna, you know, improve off of it in the future ones. Just like
as somebody's saying on here, as Zorfox is saying, the sequel to something should at least take what the predecessor does and expand upon it.
And as the Demi is saying, no, from all I hear, Die Hard 5 does not justify its existence. I haven't seen. I don't really plan on it, but I'm probably gonna watch it eventually. And
I think I watched Red Letter's media review of Die Hard 5, and they just said it was like super generic.
Was that the one that was PG-13?
No. That was the fourth one.
Yeah.
I hear that one isn't that bad. It's not as good as 1 or 3 though.
Number 4? Number 4's not too bad.
The problem is because it was PG-13 and they couldn't do a lot of stuff that they were able to before.
1 and 3 were definitely the best. 1 and 3 were like fucking action masterpieces.
What about 2?
Oh yeah, Shrek 2 is a great sequel.
2 is actually 2 is good, but 2 is also like it's the same thing we were talking about. It was just the first movie. They just put it in an airport. And it's not a bad movie. I like Die Hard 2. I don't like it as much as 1 or 3.
Yeah, Hangover. Hangover is definitely a movie that is the same movie 3 times.
Yeah,
there's no argument about that.
They didn't even pretend with that one. They just fucking took the movie and set it in a different country.
They don't even say Hangover 2. They say Hangover Part 2, as it's a continuing thing.
And like I've actually never watched the sequels because I feel like I watched the first one. If everything everyone says is true, then you know, what's the point? I already saw The Hangover. You see one Hangover, you've seen them all.
So since we're on the subject of movies and sequels, I kind of was thinking about this. I think a few days ago. When does a movie deserve a sequel?
When it's good.
I believe that a movie should really end on a way, especially a first movie. It should really end on a way that doesn't need a sequel, but it could have one.
I like here's a good way to look at it. If a movie is good in its own right and it has a very interesting universe you'd like to see like expanded on more stuff in it, That's when a movie deserves a sequel. I think good examples, let's see, Zootopia, Dread, movies
Oh
like
my
that.
god, I would love a Dread sequel.
Yeah, if you want to see,
They wrap everything up really nice. They're good experiences in their own right, but it's good enough that you would like to see more. You're satisfied with what you got, but you want to see more of it.
Why is it called The Hangover Part 3? There's no hangover.
they don't even get hangover in part 3. They just go about the craziness.
So
Crazy Jack's Masturbation Shack. That's what they should.
I could take a pretty good guess that you guys would decline the idea of Iron Giant 2.
Yes. I think
It depends. It depends. It is entirely conditional on if.
Okay, let's say all the original people are coming back for it.
Okay,
I don't know. For me, a sequel should really a sequel has a date of expiration. There's a window of time between when you should do a sequel and when you shouldn't.
Tell that to Tron Legacy. That movie was fantastic.
Yeah, but I'm still saying that. I'm still sticking by that.
Oh, so I guess exception that proves the rule kind of thing.
I'm just saying by rule of thumb, you should really do a sequel as soon. I mean, look at Ghostbusters 2.
Okay, yeah, that one. Honestly, though, I think
that was done like 5 years after the original one. That really should have been done like a year or two after.
Let's be fair though. Ghostbusters 2 is looking a lot better these days.
Yeah, but let's get away from Ghostbusters. That's dangerous territory. Let's back away.
Can I just make one comment that I think is absolutely hilarious from Red Letter Media?
Oh,
what?
Hey Jay, you know what's the real reason why I didn't like this new Ghostbusters film? It's because they were all women.
Oh god, they end that with that. That was fucking hilarious. Oh god, that was.
I'm still you know what movie could have used a sequel that I really wish happened? I wish Freddy vs. Jason got the Freddy vs. Jason versus Ash sequel.
Or no, Freddy vs. Jason versus Michael Myers.
I was gonna have. I was reading up on it, and there were so many ideas for planned sequels, but they only got a comic book sequel where they fought Ash. There was plans for after Ash they'd fight Mike Myers, maybe get Leatherface in. There was a joke ending that was only in early scripts that they did as a joke that they never intended because of licensing issues, where Freddy and Jason end up in hell and Pinhead shows up.
Give Mortal Kombat a few years, you'll get it. You see what I do with all the.
But I really feel that that sequels need to take place pretty soon after the original, because if you wait, for example, 10 or 20 years.
Oh, Zorro, you friggin' smart ass.
Ha 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 ha. No wonder Steven made you the dumbass.
Yes. What is Ash going to do? Sick Pikachu on him? Shut the fuck up. No, we love you, Zorro. I'm saying, you don't want to wait 10, 20 years to do a sequel, because by that time, who are you making it for?
Yourself.
No, what's your audience by that point? Because
Freddy versus Jason
young
versus Ash versus Pinhead versus Mike Myers versus Leatherface versus Kramer.
I love the Kramer at the end. For example, Independence Day.
Oh, Independence Day! I was so I wanted the sequel to be good, and then
Knuckles.
Aren't they making more?
Featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series.
Yes.
Aren't they planning to make Independence Day 6?
I don't know, but no, they did that movie 20 years later. I mean, you could at least they did an actual time skip thing with it. This takes place in universe 20 years later. That was a good thing. But audience wise, who are you aiming at with something like that? Because a lot of young people might not want to see it because it's a sequel. And a lot of the older audience have mostly forgotten about it, so they might go see it.
And Will Smith wasn't even in it, so...
Will Smith wasn't even in it, yeah.
Let's be honest, Independence Day is a good movie. Definitely a good, sci-fi action movie, but it did not need a sequel.
No. And then, like I said, that leads to that. There's a window of time between making sequels that you really got to be careful about.
Like, if you're gonna do that big of a time skip, you better be sure that your movie is fucking like on point. You gotta make sure you're doing like
Unless
Like-
you're doing a reboot or a
yeah,
soft
unless you're
reboot.
doing a reboot, and even then you gotta make sure it's on point because otherwise, you know, you get like a certain other reboot we could mention, but we're not going to because we're done with that.
That was just a solid reboot. I'm talking about a
they
soft
wanted-
reboot, like a
If they wanted to
sequel
touch a
continuation.
horror franchise versus thing, why don't they like reboot Freddy versus Jason at least? Or do you think they
Because-
should wait?
Okay.
No,
Here's
no,
the
no,
thing.
no,
Here's
no.
the thing. If they reboot Freddy versus Jason, we're gonna be stuck with whoever was Jason in the like what was it 2010 reboot,
Oh,
and
God.
we're gonna be stuck with fucking Jackie Earl Haley's pizza face Teddy brother of the Freddy. Not even Freddy. Fucking pedo Paulie over there.
Oh, God.
Rorschach wearing bad makeup. Don't you even start. That movie was mediocre at best.
What movie?
The Nightmare remake. It wasn't the worst remake I ever saw, but it was just so unnecessary, and they really fucked up with the makeup on Freddy. He looked terrible. And Jackie Earle Haley does not have the present. Jackie Earle Haley is a great actor. But I've watched Watchmen a couple of times, and he is great in that. But like, he does not have the kind of like charisma and presence that Robert Englund had.
I don't think anyone's gonna have his charisma.
It was so great. I watched Nightmare 3, and I just love that one line he does before he smashes the girl's face into the TV, where he goes, "This is it, your big break on TV. Welcome to prime time, bitch." And then he smashes her face right into the television. And that one moment is like
You
my
mean-
favorite Freddy moment ever.
It's better when God knows which one it was, where he's killing someone through a Nintendo Entertainment System. And
By
Now
better,
you're playing with power.
do you mean totally stupid? Because that's a lot of people point to moments like that as where the series just got too silly to take seriously.
Yeah.
I mean,
But,
everyone always loved Freddy, though. Freddy was never the problem. It was just the fact that they put him in increasingly ridiculous situations.
But yeah, with us, as I was trying to say earlier, soft reboots, you can do this. You can have a time gap because you're doing a reboot, but at the same time, it's continuing off. So, like Jurassic World, for instance,
Yeah,
it's
that
a
was
reboot, but it's still the same universe.
and
They-
it pays
Hey,
homage.
Mike.
yeah, played homage. For example, as we said earlier, episode 7.
So
It,
Emmy just asked, what if Jim Carrey played as Freddy Krueger?
no.
No, that would
No, he'd go
Fucking
too
terrible.
far into the insane.
Jim Carrey is a funny man. He's very good. He's very good at doing faces and acting with his body, but that's not. Freddy has to.
You know who we need to get to play Freddy? Jared Leto.
I don't think I want him method acting as a child rapist who murders people. Let's not let Jared Leto do that. Because he's gonna go to the park and fuck children and then bury them in his basement.
The
So
guy
are you
was
saying
getting
it would turn into a
character.
documentary?
He's being led away by police, bent over. It's like, but I was just getting into character. I was just getting into character. It's called method acting.
You're going to fucking fry for this one.
Okay. I should say I haven't seen Suicide Squad, but if it's really true that he only got like 8 to 10 minutes of screenplay, wow, that's pretty bad.
No,
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
Suicide Squad's a good movie.
I'm as we said before, and I'm still sticking by this. It was a badly cut movie.
I can kind of see that, but the thing is, all right, here's yeah.
We've talked about Suicide Squad before, and I'm sticking by it. It could have been cut a lot better. A lot of things were out of place, and I'm still amazed by the person who's trying to sue the studio for false advertising because
What?
Jared Leto was featured prominently. He was featured prominently in advertisement, like he was the main character.
Oh,
And he's
that's
only
not
in there
nice,
for
Jimmy.
for 10 minutes. He's only there for 10 minutes, so they call that false advertising.
All right, so here's the baseline for if you're gonna like the movie. If you like trashy action movies with good characters but stupid plots, you'll be fine with Suicide Squad.
Right, but it just I just hope there's a director's cut
Yeah,
release.
I hear there's gonna be a director's cut, and I'm sure it'll be a lot better. From what
They
I
might add in the scenes that Red Letter Media talked about, where it was like there was more information, more background story with things.
That's good. See, this is the thing I hear with DC movies. The director's cut is always an improvement over
It's
what.
because when they're originally making the movie, you've got as we've said before, and I guess we're going to say again, they got these directors with a vision, and they're trying to make art,
Oh,
which is a great thing, but not for a superhero movie of an established series, especially when the studio wants to make these connecting movies.
Well, I mean, there's no problem with someone having an artistic vision. You
Oh,
just
there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm saying for something like this, for a superhero movie, you want more. You're not trying to go for something art here. You're not trying to make an art piece with a superhero movie for for the summer blockbuster.
I mean, to be fair though, like a lot of Marvel movies are art, I'd say. Very good pieces of art. They're just not like pretentious.
Yeah, they do a lot of pretentious art over at DC.
I still stand by that their movies are good. They're not pleasant to watch. It's not like you really want to sit down and watch Batman versus Superman or Man of Steel like you would with Guardians of the Galaxy or Ant-Man or
Like
Winter Soldier.
Ant-Man, I've watched 7 times.
I've only actually watched Ant-Man twice. Should get that again.
It's a really good movie. It holds up really well on repeat viewings.
I hope they change like the overall tone with Justice League, because I am kind of getting tired with the whole dark dread.
I think they will, because I think Ben Affleck has gotten more control over the upcoming movies with him in it. So, and Ben Affleck is a very
look at Batman from the Lego Movie. That's a really accurate depiction about how kids see Batman nowadays.
And it's funny too. It's enjoyable.
Oh yeah, it's funny. It's funny. But I'm just saying that's a really great depiction on how kids see Batman nowadays. This dark, brooding character.
The Lego Batman movie is probably going to be the best DC movie next year.
They did Lego Batman with the Justice League Lego movie or whatever, and they still have that kind of joke with him, and it plays really well. Darkness. No parents. Yeah.
I think I'm honestly a little worried about the Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah, but they really have. I don't think they can afford a brighter color palette at DC. I think they bought a big box of grays and blacks, and they're trying to use it. Like back in the late '90s, someone over there just ordered a really big box of grays and blacks, and was like, guys, we gotta go through this. We gotta finish this before we buy a new box.
But that's how everything was back in the '90s. The '90s was all about dark grittiness and that.
And they're still doing that. They're still doing dark gritty over at DC movies for the DC movies. Warner Brothers. They're just trying to get through the box of big black darkness.
Except for like the animation studio. Did you see the trailers that they're doing an animated Batman movie that's the Adam West style?
Oh, that looks great. Yeah, the cartoons really know how to adapt the characters. They really do. I've said before on the show, I really think DC leans more towards cartoons. Their characters and stories and such really leads better to cartoons than movies.
Yeah, I can't really argue. But
I feel Marvel leads better to movies than cartoons.
Okay, so chat's got 2 questions. The Five Nights at Freddy's movie and the Pikachu detective movie.
Oh yeah. Five Nights at Freddy's, love or hate the series, you really gotta feel for the guy who made it. What's his name?
Scott.
Yeah,
That's as
Scott.
far as I can get.
You really gotta feel for him because this is a guy who was like, I think at the time he made Five Nights at Freddy's. He was like a guy living paycheck to paycheck, working at a Dollar Tree.
Yep, pretty much, yeah.
And like he was making Christian games at the time.
Oh boy.
Out.
He really didn't have a lot of money and a lot of things going for him, and like he was just trying to make his games. And someone was like, "Hey, your character models are kind of creepy." I was like, "All right, I'll make a horror game then. I'll make a creepy game
I
if my
think
models are creepy."
I don't, because a lot of people might remember me that I've always had something to bitch about Five Nights at Freddy's, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
was more. That was really just because I really hated how he just kept. It's like, here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. I really thought we were gonna have a Five Nights at Freddy's 7 before we had an iPhone 7.
Let's okay, but let me just say this real quick. If you could produce a game that is like mechanically sound in a short
Arguable
amount of
there.
time, I think that you would, because
Well, here's the thing. He really struck while the iron was hot, and while his there's 2 ways to do this. You either piece it out piece by piece, or you strike while the iron's hot and just hit.
and I
People while it's
he-
still
he
fresh
took
in
the
people's
best.
minds.
I probably also still, if he really changed things around, like with 2, I was expecting that you'd actually start walking around in the building, because that's how the trailer made it out to be, and it's still like you're sitting at a desk office. I was like, no,
isn't
okay.
It's really a game about jump scares. But as I was trying to say earlier, you really gotta appreciate this guy. He made so much money off this, and like
Yeah.
you can see it. I was in Walmart the other day, and there's merchandise. There's
Right.
Five Nights at Freddy's merchandise in a major American shopping chain.
and let me
Yep.
isn't
I mean,
he like the only person-
Could you ever imagine? Sorry, I'll finish this. Could you ever imagine as a little kid going, "Oh, one day I'm going to make video games, and it's going to be popular," and like everyone's like, "Oh no, that's not how it happens. That's not how it works. One person doesn't just make a game and make money off of it. It has to be something by a big studio to make any money." But here you have this one guy who made these games himself, and he's got T-shirts and toys at Walmart.
And in an upcoming movie, Demi is right. I was actually about to say too. He does remind me of J.K. Rowling, who just like created this phenomenon like out of nowhere.
Right, but like I said, there's 2 ways to really dish out the stuff. You either do it piece by piece by having one year, one the next year, and then one the next year. You dish it out slowly over time while keeping it fresh in people's minds, but also letting it die a little bit, then rekindling the fire. That works for some things. I don't think that would have worked for Freddy's because it's a very simplistic game. I don't think that would have worked as well.
I saw one post where someone did say that even though they loved the series, they got worn out because of how often these games would come out. From what I've heard,
and that's the second way to do it.
From what I heard, Sister Location does seem like I hate to use this phrase because I'm not trying to really put it down. It does seem like a lot of more effort was put into this.
Oh yeah, I was actually watching Markiplier play it yesterday, and it does look like he did a lot. He's trying to mix it up a little bit. He's taking baby steps, but he's taking the series in a logical progression towards
Right. And like I said, it's the second way to dish something out is as quickly as possible for short-lived games like this that aren't going to be in people's minds very long. You want to dish it out really quickly. And that worked for this. I think it worked for this.
So, well, I guess it is because it's just an indie game. Because when I usually talk about the game series with either my brother started to get worn out because of all the decisions that Scott was making, and that's how my friend felt as well. My friend felt it's basically the Call of Duty effect.
Yeah.
Because I think I just figured I see the potential, and I'm glad that for Scott that it's making him money. But it's like I kind of wish he would have changed like maybe the gameplay, maybe add in some like different modes. Like I have heard like now you're actually walking around the place, which is like that's kind of what I wanted. You are a security guard. Go out there and take a flashlight out and just be like, okay, there's no one trying to steal anything, no stuff. Because I
the
always
original, to me, the original game was really best played if you knew nothing about it.
yeah. I just figured maybe walking around the place would be a lot more better just because it's like you're turning around corners and it's like, hey, look, there's no animatronics. And then the next thing you know, the camera turns right around and you got this thing that's in your face.
Yeah.
Like it would start really tempting people to, or try to tell people, you need to go out and do this thing. And they go, no, I don't want to do this thing. I'm going to get killed. You need to go out there and do this thing.
Yeah.
But
it's really weird. But
as for the Five Nights movie, what's the word on that?
I heard it announced a couple years ago that they were going to do it, and I've heard nothing about it since. As far as I know, it's still in the works.
Honestly, I can't. There's nothing that can really be said about it right now because there's not enough information about it to really talk about it.
I'm just really surprised it's getting a movie.
Then let's say, how would you do a Five Nights at Freddy's movie?
I actually think I had an idea about this before it was even announced. You could do it like the like what was it? What was my idea? I think I had an actual reason that the guy who worked at the thing had to stay at the restaurant every night. I think it was like he was on parole for something, and this was like community service kind of thing, and he was forced to go to the restaurant every night.
Or that this was really the only job he could get.
But that still wouldn't explain why he would keep coming back every night when there's killer robots.
Yeah,
I kind of figured sooner or later someone would like bring a weapon or something.
Or you'd have to do it like a chopping mall where the robots go crazy that night.
Oh boy.
And he has to get out.
Shopping mall. This looks like something I need to review.
That's a classic gore movie, but it'd have to be something done that night. It's like this is a really weird thing. How would you do the movie? Because you couldn't do it like the games. You couldn't do it with the games setup because it's just one guy sitting in a security booth. How would you do this? You would need more characters. So, say your other character is somebody who's trying to rob the place, or some kids that got locked in at night. They're trying to find out if the rumors of ghosts are true, so they hide in the bathroom. And the place closes, and they come out at night.
Fired, but that's biggest. Fired, invisible times.
The main characters of Five Nights.
So what are they saying is a rumor?
The movie itself was like.
No. I think they were talking about one of the characters or something in the I don't know.
Okay, because like I was confused if he was saying that like Springtrap wasn't a corpse, because Springtrap is most definitely the corpse of the purple guy.
Will Smith is Mike Schmidt.
I would love that. I would be first in line to see that.
No, but as somebody said, like the main character, it's a living. That's why he keeps coming back. It's a living.
Okay, what if the main character of Five Nights at Freddy's movie is played by Danny DeVito?
No. Danny DeVito has to be the security chief.
Oh yeah, that's even better. Okay,
he has to be the boss. He has to be the security chief.
He's the security chief, and Arnold Schwarzenegger is the night guard.
No, for the night guard,
he'd just be able to beat them all up on his own.
For the night guard, you need a younger actor whose career is failing, like Zac Efron.
Tommy Wiseau.
Michael Cera, Zac Efron. You need like almost 30, like a 28-year-old young actor whose career is failing them.
Let's see.
I
know.
can't.
He's famous
I
on
can't
Disney right
stop thinking about Tommy Wiseau in the Five Nights at Freddy's universe. He just sees Foxy and he's like, "Oh, hi, doggy."
now. Oh boy.
Oh, hi, Foxy.
What is Tommy Wiseau is doing lately?
Whatever he wants. That's what Tommy Wiseau does. Yeah, Zach isn't dead. I don't know. Get a feeling a Disney child star. Somebody who's in a Disney show, like one of the twins from Zach and Cody.
Dylan and Cole Sprouse.
Yeah, get one
I
of the
think they've
Sprouse
actually
twins.
they've been very selective with what roles they take.
Get one of them. Get like a 20-something-year-old failed Disney child star who doesn't do much anymore to play Mike.
Oh, actually, Tommy Wiseau's in 2 movies coming out this year.
Huh. That's interesting.
One of them
That's
is called
That's who you
the
needed to
first
play Mike Schmidt.
It's funny because the first movie actually is one starring Zac Efron.
Oh, nice.
Called it's called The Masterpiece. A behind the
Nice.
scenes look at the making of the room, and it stars Zac Efron.
Why?
Oh wait, this is the James Franco movie. I thought he was calling it Disaster Artist, but instead he's calling it. I guess they changed the title to The Masterpiece. So Zac Efron is in fact in this movie about Tommy Wiseau.
All right, so now we talked about that. How? I remember when they were first talking about they were working with what studio was it to do a Pokemon movie? They were trying to get a studio that'll do a Pokemon movie with them. I'm trying to remember which studio. I think it was Universal or something. I don't remember, but they were trying to pair up with a studio, and we were like, okay, so what are they going to do with a Pokemon movie? We keep hearing different things, like it's going to be live action. I was like, oh. I was like, but what are they going to do? As it's revealed, Legendary Pictures. That's it. Thank you. Legendary Pictures is going to do a Detective Pikachu movie. I'm like, hell yes.
Better than a live action one. Just gonna say that.
No, it's going to be a live action Detective Pikachu movie.
Okay, look, I already know about this.
When we get the Pokemon Go movie rights.
Let's see. The writers for Detective Pikachu are Alex Hirsch. Already, this is the greatest movie ever.
Alex Hirsch. Oh yeah, I know who he is. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Gravity Falls
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. Alex Hirsch is writing. That's
And Nicole Perlman.
nice.
So already, this is the greatest movie ever written.
Where'd Aristocrat Wolf go?
Right from the get-go, this is the greatest movie ever written.
Where'd
If they can-
Aristocrat Wolf go? When he leave?
If they
I'm
convince
Like a minute ago.
oh.
they
What
can just
happened there?
they need to convince Danny DeVito to be Detective Pikachu. The fate of the world depends on it.
Oh, why not Jaden Smith as Mike Schmidt? He's a failed actor. No, you need a 20-something, like a late 20s, early 30s actor, like somebody who needs a job to pay off their student loans.
Frankie Muniz.
Frankie, yeah, you need somebody like that looks like they're the only reason they're doing the job, the security job, is to pay off their loans. You need somebody with an already broken soul.
Lindsay Lohan.
There you go.
When was the last thing Lindsay Lohan was in?
Her arrest video. I don't know.
That was the last thing she was in. Someone's vagina.
I don't know. I'm sorry, Lindsay Lohan, if you're watching this show. I apologize.
I don't. Oh no! Why is he posting the Pokemon?
Oh god.
Have you seen this kid before?
Oh god. I love it when children embarrass themselves on the internet.
Did you see his second song? Like after Pyro Cynical reviewed his Pokemon Go song or like showcased it on his show, he did this entire song saying that all these channels were cyberbullies and they were cancer and retards and assholes. He's like, cyberbully channels are cancer, 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 cancer. Cyberbully channels are cancer, and it's like rock music is blaring in the background. He opens the video by saying, "You are now about to witness the strength of kid knowledge."
I almost watched that, but I couldn't handle that much cringe.
It was
That
funny.
child is so goddamn cringy.
I actually saw a video. It was the Nut Shack intro, but every instance of the Nut Shack is replaced by the entirety of Cyberbully Channels Are Cancer. It was
Amazing.
it was like half an hour long, but
Oh no! Don't forget the Nut Shack where every word is replaced with the entirety of the Godfather trilogy.
oh my god, really? Is that a real thing?
Yes, it's like it was amazing.
I hate this meme, but admired the dedication people put into it.
I was actually there was one. It was like the Nut Shack, but every instance of the Nut Shack is replaced by an entire reading of the B movie script.
Yeah, that was a great one. The Oh yeah, all right, Demi, we get it. The plot of Once Upon a Time is fiction, is reality. We get it.
Yeah, we just don't care because we don't watch Once Upon a Time. Unless you guys do watch Once Upon a Time, I'm not judging.
I've
I
watched it.
did. I stopped
It feels like Dragon Ball Z, where they have to have the next villain be even stronger than before.
Oh boy. So when are they gonna fight like the fusion of all the villains at once?
It's like it really has to go down these insane plot things.
Maleficent and Chernobog's secret time traveling daughter.
No, Chernobog was actually in there.
Yeah, I know. I heard about that.
Yeah, the
But it's
first season was the basic thing. Then the second season, then they just gotta keep going on and on and on to the bigger, badder thing. A new, bigger, badder villain appears. I think like the season before, it was the hero themselves was the big bad villain.
how much bigger can you get than Chernobog though? There's really no Disney villain.
Chernobog was a minor character too.
Yeah, they beat him what, like one episode, like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, that is bullshit. He's gotta come back. Like
Oh, and the most recent villain was Hades. Very
Yeah, the most recent one was Hades. They literally go, which was a missed opportunity to have James Woods.
he has said on multiple occasions he will always do that if he's asked. Because he loves the role, so I don't know
Yeah,
why.
Once Upon a Time is like supernatural. They gotta keep getting the bigger, badder villain. But yeah, it was like they missed the perfect opportunity to have a live action James Woods playing Hades.
That would have been the greatest thing ever. They fucking dropped the ball there. But who is going to be the next villain? Are they going to just dip into Marvel and get like?
I think the next villain is supposed to be Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
When you said Doctor, I was about to be like, oh my god, are they really going to do Doctor Doom? Like I was about to suggest.
Yeah, I remember they introduced Jekyll and Hyde. It's like weird, like end of one season, but he's a villain of the next. Because it's supposed to be foreshadowing, but they did like the whole episode, so it was just veil.
Yeah.
Jekyll and Hyde, that's ridiculous. He's not really a kind of character I would expect to be a big bad villain, especially not one that.
I think if I remember seeing what I saw in that last episode, the season finale of last time, I don't know. They're really reaching for some stuff. Yeah, I hear it's supposed to be the last, but it's probably not. I don't know. God, hopefully, yeah. I mean, what could they do next? What could they possibly do next?
Maybe they could actually explore the setup they have with gods exist, and they're going to be forgotten about once they defeated Hades.
Yeah. Hero 6 is right there, you goddamn horse. Yeah, remember when they did Frozen right after Frozen happened? Like I said, strike while the iron is hot.
Well, that was kind of different since they actually, incorporated the original source into it. I actually like the Frozen arc better than the movie.
Yeah, they really did try to incorporate, and they tried to pick up where the movie left off, really. They tried to do that, and they tried to settle some things that weren't explained in the movie. It was pretty interesting.
Then they did the same thing with Brave, and that wasn't as good.
They had Brave in there too, yeah.
I'm just not a fan of Brave in general. It's like
Pixar's. Princess Merida is going on that show. I would smash that.
The actress, they had a good actress playing her. they've already done Camelot.
I would show her my bow and arrow.
Oh yeah, they did do Camelot. They did a lot of Camelot, but it was so poorly written and boring. I forgot.
Yeah, they did Camelot. Yeah, they've done almost everything. Like, what can you do now? They're going to have to end it because they're going to start going into other stuff.
I was about to say
Zootopia,
fight
live
Mickey
action
Mouse, but
Zootopia.
yeah, they did have Mickey Mouse, didn't they, as the Sorcerer's Apprentice?
They have Sorcerer's Apprentice. They just call him the Apprentice, and he is turned into a mouse at one point and turned back. So
Yeah,
Why
that is
did
was
they-
the way
supposed
they
that
got it.
that is
Mickey
supposed to
Mouse.
be that is supposed to be a reference to Mickey.
Why didn't they get Nicolas Cage to reprise his role from The Sorcerer's Apprentice?
Well, he was a sorcerer in the Sorcerer's Apprentice. I watched that movie. I liked that movie.
It was a pretty
Yeah,
good
that was a
movie.
decent movie.
It was enjoyable. Nicolas Cage can pretty much make everything watchable, though. So,
Except Ghost Rider 2.
okay, yeah, there are exceptions that prove the rule, and that is one of them.
Like, Ghost Rider 2 is so bad, my dad dislikes it, and he likes pretty much anything that lasts for at least an hour and a half.
Ghost Rider 2 is so bad that,
But though it's well shot for a bad movie, it's well shot.
well, yeah, it's they, it had there's okay. Let me put it this way: almost every bad movie, with the exception of maybe like two or three that I've seen, has some sort of good qualities to it. But that's always what makes it worse to me because
Yeah.
it has these good qualities, but it still failed on so many levels that it disappoints me.
Okay, here's a question. What's the good qualities of Master Disguise?
The good qualities of Master Disguise, I think I might
Is
have
that it ends.
I think I mentioned this in the review that I did. There were a couple of jokes that were funny for like a second.
And then
Brent,
they ran them into the ground and ended them with a fart.
yes, Brent Spiner was actually trying his hardest, and the girl who was putting up with Pistachio, they were actually
Yeah.
funny for the most part, but they were given really bad work. That one guy that he was, Terry Suavo or whatever, the like David Niven James Bond guy, was actually good
That was
and showed.
actually funny. That was actually a funny bit.
Dana Carvey actually showed restraint in that scene, which was very impressive. I was genuinely pleased with that scene. And then there's that one moment in the obnoxiously long credits that made me want to kill myself, where it's like Dana Carvey flubs his line, and then Brent Spiner just like turns back to the camera with this look of just like, what the fuck did I sign on to this movie on his
Yeah.
face? And it's just so frank and genuine that it was genuinely funny that I was watching this poor man suffer. So yeah, there's a few good qualities to that. Not enough to save it from being one of the
Oh,
worst.
no,
movies
not
I've ever seen in my
But
life.
Ghost Rider 2 had some really well filmed action sequences.
And Ghost Rider himself looked fantastic as always.
Yeah, it's just everything else was terrible.
Villain was forgettable. I hated how they like rebooted, but not really.
It was weird.
Whoops. Sorry.
But yeah,
And sorry about what happened. My laptop is just like, hey, I'm gonna gently poke you. Okay, I'm gonna crash. Lol.
well, you're back.
Yeah, that's about right.
I'm sorry, Tommy Wiseau. I didn't mean to insult you.
Tommy, don't worry. Tommy Wiseau left a long time ago. We're talking about the good qualities of shit movies.
Okay.
Like you could
But-
name any movie I hate, and I could tell you a couple of good things about it, unless it's like one of the few that has no good qualities.
Manos, The Hands of Fate.
Okay, I actually don't hate that movie. I think it's really boring, but like Torgo is definitely a saving grace. He's the greatest character in human history.
Pluto Nash.
I've never seen that.
Disaster movie?
Okay, you see, like I said, there are some things that I can't find and redeeming. But okay, actually, disaster movie. This is hardly a redeeming value because they ruin it after 2 seconds. But the way they made fun of Juno was almost sort of kind of funny for like maybe almost a minute. But they ruined it immediately.
Really bad. I can't think of any bad films I personally watched.
I was thinking more like the list I have of bad films, like, because that's basically what I go by when I think of shitty movies. Here, let me see if I can send it in the chat, because I'm gonna get around to reviewing pretty much all of the. I actually gotta add Smiley to this because that movie deserves to be on this, just for how it was cringeworthy. That's the best word that I can use for it. But I've already talked about that. I'll send these so that we have some new shit to talk about here. I put it in the chat. And here, I'll send it to the people in Discord if they want to look at these shitty movies.
Oh yeah, the Hall of Shame, the worst movies. Lucy, yep.
Yeah, even that movie. I actually can't think of anything redeeming about that movie.
The Twilight
not
series,
even the
Breaking Dawn Part 1.
Breaking Dawn Part 1. Also, I can't. I guess the fact that no, there's nothing. That movie is where the series just completely jumped the shark. It's like even the fact that Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart and Taylor Lautner are just giving so little of a shit. It used to be funny, but what they're saying because of the writing, it just doesn't work like it did with Eclipse.
Just a quick question about Twilight. A lot of people have said that it's only the movies that are bad, but the books are really good. Is that true?
No, actually,
I've read the books. I've read the books. They're not really. They're a step up from the movies, but that's not saying a lot.
Twilight, the first book and first movie through the third book and the third movie are all great in kind of a guilty pleasure, so bad it's good way.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, the fourth book
and the fourth movie are two of the worst pieces of media I have ever had the mispleasure to.
The only enjoyable thing about the fourth book was the part where it takes place from, what was his name, Jacob's perspective.
Yes, that was the only good part, and then it ends
because that was that was the character that wasn't the author's Mary Sue self-insert.
And the problem is, at the end of that segment, they turn him into a pedophile.
Yeah.
Which is never a good way to, change your character. It's not a good piece of character development to have your character want to fuck a baby.
But she did a small little side book that was supposed to take place of that that one vampire that was killed at the end of the third book.
Bree Tanner or something.
That book was actually almost enjoyable to read through because like I said, same place from perspective that's not her Mary Sue's bland self-insert.
So maybe her problem was always that she was writing from the perspective of the wrong character. I've actually said this before, but like the side characters in Twilight are all so fascinating and deep and have great backstories and concept for their stories. Rosalie, Alice, Jasper, Carlisle, the Volturi.
It's really that you're looking through the characters, you're looking through them through the perspective of reading them. That's almost like how the character's describing, like she's the one reading the book. If you get what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah. You're definitely right, and it's just like
you're reading a description, just a description of the character, not through that character's eyes, but through just as if you were reading a description of them from an online profile.
This is why I like writing in first person better than third person. I feel like third person is too impersonal and just.
If you're going to write from a character's perspective, you have to write as that character. The problem is that the character's the narrator. If you get what I'm trying to say, they have a narrator personality. If I'm making any sense here.
No, I got you.
Oh yeah, I get what you're saying.
Are people still there?
Amazing, but
when it goes super quiet, I think my computer's locked up and it's.
No, I'm here.
Yeah, it just kind of went quiet for a second.
Hey, remember when Harry Potter broke the last movie into 2 parts because the last book was so big they wanted to make sure they got everything in it so they could finish the series off right?
Yeah, let's not do that with every single fucking book series.
Let's do that with every other book series.
Who even needs to make the final book? Make the only book 3 parts.
Yeah.
I feel like Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows has become the Ren and Stimpy of book movie adaptations.
What do you mean by that? I mean, I thought
It's
the
like
last two were all right.
it's basically no. What I mean is, it's basically I'm basing off what Mr. Enter has said before about why he won't review Ren and Stimpy or Shrek or what was the other one, South Park. It's because while the products themselves are good, genuinely great products, the fact is they had very negative impacts on their respective mediums.
Oh yeah, everything tried to be them.
I and sometimes following the leader can work out really well, but
Sometimes.
but you still get flooded with a lot of crap. You get flooded with a lot of crap, and if you dig through it, you find a few gems, and that's kind of what happened here. Deathly
Yeah,
Hallows was well done. They split the thing in two parts, and then
which I thought was a great idea. To get as much from the last two books or from the last book as possible.
I mean, part one definitely was not as good as it should have been, but part two is definitely probably the best Harry Potter movie.
Right. But
Um,
that's where the problem comes from, is that everyone tried to copy them. Hey, Harry Potter did it, so let's break up the last Twilight movie into two parts. Let's break up the last of this movie into two parts. Let's do
Wait,
this.
which came out first? The last Twilight movie, or the last Hunger Games movie? Because I know they
The
did
last
both.
Hunger
Twilight.
Game, the last Twilight movie came out before the last Hunger Games.
way before that.
Yeah,
Way
I never
before it.
kept
Way
up with
before it.
Twilight.
I think the last Twilight movie came out before even the first Hunger Games movie.
Yeah, it did. No, it came
No, it
out
wasn't
after.
that old.
No. Part one of Twilight came out. Of Breaking Dawn came out in 2011. That's when the first Hunger Games came out. Was 2011.
Catching
Really?
Fire, that's like one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen because I hated the book, but the movie was just fantastic.
Was
Right.
the book series that popular?
I think
Not really.
Because when I
which
heard
one?
the Hunger Games movie, I was like,
The what?
yeah, exactly. I was like, and then I heard it was based off a book, and I was like, really?
If you were
Okay.
in middle school at the time,
It's just a
yeah.
book series they decided to turn. Oh God, the baby. Yeah, don't remind me of that picture of that baby. That's a weird looking baby.
And the
Going back to what I was saying.
the baby.
Going to what I was trying to say. Shit. But yeah, I think Hunger Games was just an okay selling book series. So somebody snapped up the movie rights, trying to make it into the next Twilight
I
series.
think, at least with Catching Fire, I definitely think Catching Fire is one of the better sci-fi movies of the past few years. It was really well done.
Right, but I think what some movie companies are trying to do is trying to snatch up book adaptation rights.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because they want to catch the next Harry Potter. They want to catch the next Twilight Saga before it even becomes popular. So they're taking these lesser known series, buying the movie rights. I mean, who really heard of the Maze Runner before it was made into a movie?
I didn't even know it was a book until like a year after the movie came out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying here. They're trying to snatch up these things before they become the next big thing.
Wait, Maze Runner? When you say
Yeah.
Maze Runner, oh, I'm thinking of the Running Man.
No, Maze Runner. Maze Runner was one, and they're trying to snatch up the rights to that, and they snatched up the rights to that, and that's how I feel about the Hunger Games. It was a lesser known book series, and they snatched up the movie rights, and then the book started selling like hotcakes. And then that's what happened with that, and then of course you gotta do what Harry Potter did, and break the last one into two parts.
No, you guys know the worst attempts at the new Harry Potter? The Percy Jackson movies.
Oh yeah, that just failed. That really failed.
Don't remind me. That is one of the biggest disappointments ever.
No,
Though I will admit,
Aragon.
Okay, you're right. I will admit though, Uma Thurman's one scene in the first Percy Jackson movie is one of the funniest things I've ever seen her done.
Oh, that was a great scene.
She was just so smarmy and fun in that scene. She had a good time with that, unlike anyone who watched it.
Right, but there's a lot of things with this, and they're going to keep doing this because that's just how Hollywood works. Or it's a number game, and they're trying to really snatch up the next thing. That's really all they want. They really want to do something worked. So if it worked once, it must work the next 100 times.
Not a
And
good
so,
way. Not a good way to go
so
about
you
it.
had the Shrek style. Does anyone remember when a bunch of children's movies were advertised like Shrek movies? For example,
Chicken
Tangled,
Little.
Chicken Little. Yeah. Remember Tangled? How that was advertised? The trailer. When I saw the trailer, I thought, "Oh boy, it's another Shrek clone."
Despite
don't
being done by
remember.
Disney.
I don't ever
Yeah,
remember
but that was
seeing a
done by Disney.
commercial for
No,
Tangled.
no,
Actually.
but Tangled, the original trailer, it had a really Shrek feel in the trailer. They were trying to go for that. They were trying to go for a Shrek feel in the trailer, which is really weird. And even Radical Dreamer said that she felt that it looked like, oh, this is like Shrek, ain't it? I really
Tangled.
advertised that movie weird. Well, and Tangled turned out to be a really great movie.
I guess.
Oh,
I
Michael, how
find it
can you have Carnosaur on your list of worst movies?
because it's a fucking piece of shit. How can
You should watch
okay,
Best of
but
the
I will
Worst on
admit,
it. It's
I
so
will
stupid and funny.
I
I will admit, Carnosaur had some really funny moments with the puppets, but other than that, I've never been more disappointed by a movie called Carnosaur in my entire life.
Well, how many movies do you know named Carnosaur?
That's the joke.
Right, but that was such a dumb movie. I love that the main character has almost no character arc because in the best way possible, he kills the Carnosaur with the with
Forklift.
like with the equipment, with the coal digging equipment or whatever.
I think I said it in my review. It's like any movie that can take a giant Carnosaur in a laser hallway and make it the most boring thing on earth is just a fucking terrible
You should
movie.
watch Red Letter Media's Best of the Worst on it.
Oh god.
It's funny what they said about it.
I don't think it'll change my mind.
Oh no! It won't change your mind. They even said it's a bad movie, but it's an entertainingly bad movie.
I see. I can't agree with that. I was not entertained even in the least. I mean, there were, like I said, there were a couple of things I liked about it, but not
Oh
enough.
yeah, Inkheart. Oh yeah, I went and saw that with Radical Dreamer in the theaters.
Oh, the book was so much better. The only,
I'll say as someone who had not read the book before going into the movie, I thought it was a decent movie.
I think that's kind of like what I call League of Extraordinary Gentlemen effect. Because like if
Yeah.
you go in with knowing nothing about it, you'll like it a lot better. Same thing with League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Though I will say, I have warmed up to that movie a lot ever since the Harry Potter Dick Lightning.
Yeah, what if the only part of the league I know is the third part?
Right.
Yeah, probably because I mention Harry Potter Dick Lightning at least once a month and how it's the worst thing ever. And I'm glad Alan Moore is retired so that we don't ever have
Are
to.
we going? Are we allowed to put that on your tombstone, just in quotation marks, after you die? Harry Potter Dick Lightning.
Go ahead, do it.
You heard it here first, guys.
here lies Michael. Harry Potter Dick Lightning.
Michael Harry Potter Dick Lightning Ford. But
That's what's going to be on your tombstone now.
One thing that I love, the one thing I like about it is Andy Serkis as the bad guy, because Andy Serkis can really do no wrong.
It was well filmed. It was well
Yeah,
shot.
I think I can agree with that too. I think it just had some really bad storytelling choices, especially like the ending where it just defeated any chance of ever getting a sequel because it resolves the entire plot of the next two books in like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like Aragon.
Oh yeah.
Aragon was more like it just sucked so bad that no one would ever want to see a sequel.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about book or movie adaptation of books, did they finish the Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe series?
No, they did
They
like
just
the first 3,
dropped it like a hot potato.
and then
I
dropped.
think another one's actually being made though, isn't it?
No, not that I've heard.
Oh.
They literally just dropped it like a sack of potatoes.
Oh no, I was thinking of because there's an old adaptation series made by like the BBC. I was mixing it up with that.
I think I've seen that before a long time ago.
I've seen the BBC version actually. 5th grade.
BBC, that stands for what? Big Black Cock?
Wrong
Yeah.
one. But I never watched it, but they was at the local Blockbuster.
Right. Remember the series of Unfortunate Events movie?
You know, I've seen a lot of people say that it sucks lately, and I guess in hindsight, it was not the best or most faithful like way to adapt it, but I kind of have a soft spot for it. It's not a great movie by any means, but I think it's decent for try. It's decent at what it tried to do, but I think the series
If if I remember reading because I know I read the first one, I think I would almost have to say that Jim Carrey as the main villain in this one seemed to be a really, or at least the writing for him was like a really bad decision. Was he that eccentric in the books?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, yeah, you have to understand, Olaf was a stage actor, and Jim Carrey has the innate hamminess that any stage actor would have. So
Yeah.
he got that really well. And I think he did a good job at making
Oh,
all of Olaf's disguises actually make sense as how they could fool someone, because Jim Carrey was very good at making the disguises less transparent than they were in the books. So it's like you could see how they could fool the stupid people around, but the Baudelaires, being that they're like fucking super mutant geniuses, were able to see through his clever disguise.
Didn't the booksies go in like a weird direction with like a secret organization or something?
Oh yeah, it gets way too complex. Not something we can really get into. But
Right.
again, though, I think the Netflix series or whatever is going to be so much better. Neil Patrick Harris looks fucking fantastic, and he can definitely play a villain.
Of course, it's Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh god, that's right. They did do a parody of the Hunger Games, the Starving Games. I remember that.
I saw that.
It gave me cancer.
It was
worry, I
so
got
fucking
that.
dumb. Yeah. What else? The online parodies made by people on the internet were better. Like the Black Hunger Games with the big black woman.
Oh god.
Isn't that just
Does anyone know what I'm
District
talking
though?
about?
District 11.
Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Where it's like, instead of Katniss, she's Fatness.
Oh
It
geez.
was like, little Rue stabs her. Oh, little bitch stabbed me.
Oh, speaking of bad movies, though,
Somebody find that.
I think in 45 minutes, I think a review of a certain movie is gonna drop, and I might get shit for it because I talk about feminism in it.
Oh god, what movie?
It's a certain movie about a ridiculous concept that could have been done really well, but comes off as a Lifetime movie that just so happens to have a killer vagina in it.
Oh.
Vagina dentate teeth? Teeth?
Yeah.
Is it? It's teeth.
Yep.
My
There you go,
parents
people.
watched that once.
There is my preview. There's your preview for my upcoming review. It's coming out in 45 minutes, and it is about teeth and how it fails on like every storytelling level. It fails as a rape revenge flick. It fails as a feminist movie. It fails as a groin monster movie.
Yeah.
Fails. Like I'm not gonna spoil anything. I just want to go on record as saying that movie. I used to like it, but then it occurred to me that it's just an obnoxious Lifetime movie dressed up as a horror movie. It's basically Halloween. It's the perfect movie for Halloween because it's a shitty Lifetime movie dressed up in a costume.
When you said Halloween, I thought you meant like the film franchise Halloween.
No. No, but
Yes,
teeth.
remember when
Oh god,
Michael
I saw
Myers
that.
killed someone with his vagina dentata?
And
Wasn't there a movie where it was like Dick Snake or something?
Dick Shark.
Dick Shark, yeah, Dick Shark. When are we getting the sci-fi Dick Shark versus Teeth movie?
What? There's a movie called Dick Shark?
Yes, we've talked about that on the show before.
Considering how bad Teeth was, I think we should do Dick Shark versus Killer Condom. I think that might work a little better.
No, we need to do both. Dick Shark versus Killer Condom and Dick Shark versus Teeth. Because doesn't sci-fi love doing shark versus something else movies?
And
Dick Shark.
what better
Dick Shark
show than Dick
Dick
Shark?
Bot.
When are we getting Mega Shark versus Sharknado?
When are we getting Sharknator versus Freddy versus Jason?
Yes. Oh god, what other movies on here you didn't like? Sucker Punch. Yes, I agree.
See, Sucker Punch, Ghostbusters, and Teeth are like the unholy trinity of really bad, like, quote unquote feminist movies that
It's not
just,
even real feminism in Sucker Punch. It's fake feminism.
yeah, pretty much, yeah. And it helped me coin the term the Sucker Punch threshold, which is what I used to describe a moment in like an action movie or really any movie where it's like it just goes so far over the top that my suspension of disbelief is just like, because my suspension of disbelief can have you believe some ludicrous things, but Sucker Punch just goes so far over the top
Oh
where
yeah, when she gets hit by one of the giant robots and she comes away unscratched.
yeah,
There goes all the tension.
but yeah, that's what I
There
call
goes, yeah, there goes the tension. Yeah.
that's what I call the Sucker Punch threshold. It's when a
Yeah,
movie
I
it
would have
loves
liked
you
it
so
better.
far over the top, it comes right back under to be unbelievable.
Yeah, but the problem with Sucker Punch, as I've heard other reviewers say, there's no real sense of danger or any realism to the rules of the world.
I don't even know if that was so much a problem as none of the
It's like,
characters
well,
were
that too,
inconsistent.
but like for example, like I said, when she gets hit by the robot or the giant samurai robot, or whatever the fuck it was, and she just walks away from it. I mean, there goes the tension. There goes the realism. I know she's in a fantasy make believe world, but come on. And
Yeah.
that just instantly reminds you, oh, this isn't real.
Yeah, like what's the point of framing it as a fight if losing the fight doesn't mean like getting caught or something?
Yeah, it was like I would have liked it if she got hit by the thing and all of a sudden she was snapped back to reality. Or something like that. So you know there's a rule. Oh, she can't get hit or she'll wake up.
Yeah.
Something. Give us something. Give us some kind of, because when you need rules and structure to a movie, then there needs to be consequences for not following those rules. I mean, especially in a movie like that, or even yet a horror movie. We need to know what can you do and what can you not do. If you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I gotcha. Since
Oh, shit posters asking if we've ever heard the story of Old Man Henderson.
Is this what is this? I'd have never heard this. Is this like Harry and the Hendersons?
No, it is the most amazing tabletop RPG story you will ever hear.
Oh boy.
Sounds good.
Have you ever heard the tabletop game Call of Cthulhu?
Call of Cthulhu? Right, yes, I believe I've heard of that.
Well,
Yeah.
the basic story of Old Man Henderson is that there's this game master, GM, the person who runs the game. He was being a dick. He was just being absolutely a dick. You know, one of those, if any of you've ever played tabletop RPGs, you know he's the kind of rocks fall, everyone dies kind of GM.
Yes.
He was that kind of guy. He was just an asshole, killing this person's characters for the dumbest reasons. And so he decided to get his revenge. His revenge was to create the most insane character possible. And the character had, what was it, a 300-page backstory.
Jesus Christ.
The point to having such a long 320-page backstory, he said the point to having such a long backstory was to ensure the game master would never actually read any of it. And since that since he would never read any of it except experts who pointed out to justify things, that means he could rewrite and change things around completely at random without anyone noticing. And most importantly, convince everyone that he was serious about this character and that it wasn't simply the game-wrecking bullshit that it was. But the character is like this. He was this old guy who blames all this crazy old guy who blames all of his misfortunes on Vietnam.
So
He never
basically, H.P. Lovecraft.
he never went to Vietnam. He was 12 in '74.
Oh, H.P. Lovecraft. He was dead in 74. Oh, wait, are we talking about Old Man Henderson?
Old Man Henderson. He never went to Vietnam. He was 12 in 74. There's a good reference if anyone gets there. He wore combat boots with Heelys in them, cargo shorts, an open front Hawaiian shirt with a wife beater underneath. He was dyslexic and had a lesser case of schizophrenia. He had a Grizzly Adams beard and wore his hair in a mohawk. He never took off his aviator shades for any reason. He had a stuffed parrot on his shoulder named Rupert that he constantly asked for advice while ignoring the other party members as convenient. He had an automatic combat shotgun he knew how to use. He had also memorized the anarchist cookbook. He started the game with a pre-existing hatred of religion, cutlery, and books. His motivation was that he thought the cult...
He hated books, but he memorized the anarchist cookbook.
Yes. His motivation was that he thought the cult had stolen his lawn gnomes, while he had actually donated them to a charity auction and got high and forgot about it.
Isn't that the plot of Ash versus Evil Dead?
I think most importantly, he had the 320-page backstory that justified everything from his casual knowledge of physics to his ability to speak Portuguese flawlessly.
Chaotic everything.
He also spoke in a nigh incomprehensible Scottish accent. It's like, while all the other characters are stalking out this cult meeting and investigating it, he just pulls up in his Ford pickup, blasting. What was it? He's just. What was it? While everyone very calm. Let's see. He just parks his car, blasting rock music, just comes up to the front door, kicks it in, aims his shotgun, and while everyone just kind of stopped in shocked silence for a moment, he leveled his shotgun on the lead priest cultist guy and yelled, "Moko darn coat, Aaron Namblers be keeping me weemin'!"
What mean?
Why are you keeping me weemin', my the lawn gnomes? And the leader of the cult couldn't understand the simple request to return the lawn gnomes, thought he was speaking in some kind of elder tongue, and summoned a Shoggoth to kill him.
Bit of an overreaction.
Does he kill the Shoggoth?
Oh yes, by finishing off his beer and just unloading 20 rounds and just throwing Molotov cocktails. He just when it appears, it's like, that's the ugliest fucking poodle I've ever seen.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, it's like his car was a '92 Buick Century with Clarence how was that band called?
Clarence Clearwater Revival?
Yes, that was the music he was blasting because the tape was stuck in the player. These are all things that he had written into his backstory. And it was amazing. And during the whole campaign, he did things such as just blow shit up, steal a military helicopter, pick up a yacht, and drop it on a cultist meeting.
Oh my god.
I love how this article has it listed down as this article is awesome. Do not fuck it up.
Yeah. Amazing. Old Man Henderson is so fucking amazing. There's a unit of measurement named after him called the Henderson Scale of Plot Derailment.
Oh.
Plot discourse.
But
guys,
the best thing about it is that the player was actually playing the whole time. He was actually collecting information about how to defeat the final boss the whole time. He was actually collecting information, and at the end he kills an elder god that's summoned because he knew how to do this because he was collecting information the whole time. And like the GM's like, "What? How did you know to do that?" I was like, "Oh, I've been playing this whole time. I knew what to do. I win. That's it. We win." It was like, and the GM gets so pissed he flips the table. He literally flips the table and storms out.
And he's never seen again. Guys, what I'm about to send you is apparently from. I hate to get political, but this is from a debate tonight. I just saw it. It's the greatest roast I've seen all year.
Is it the will you be in prison?
Yes. I hate him so much, but that was the funniest fucking thing in the entire world.
I think I'm already gonna say, like, when it comes to me and Tumblr now, I am not gonna be. The one thing I posted about the presidential elections of this year is going to be the only thing I'm going to be talking about.
Oh yeah, another thing about Old Man Henderson, nobody knows whether that's his first name or last name. Not even he does.
He's too high.
Yeah. But like but yeah, by another player has to pick up the game so that they can give the game a proper ending where both he and the elder god that he blew up are just laying there dying, having one final conversation, and share a joint with each other. It's like there's one piece of information I don't know. Can I ask you something? Shoot. Is Henderson your first name or last name? It's like, man, I've got no fucking idea. Did I mention they roll a joint with a page from the Necronomicon?
Oh my goodness.
They smoke the big book of bad juju.
The big book of bad juju.
That's the best way to describe the Necronomicon.
The big book of what?
And not only does he do that, he rolls a joint with a page from the Necronomicon. He shares it with a high school student.
What the fuck even?
The 60-something-year-old man, he shares a joint with with a high school student made from the page of the Necronomicon, and like the student fails the mental check and starts seeing insane visions, but they're cartoonishly filtered through the pot filter, so he doesn't lose that much sanity. I like the description. I love the description. Like, imagine seeing imagine seeing it was like what was it yeah, he saw Jesus and then Jesus turned into a giant squid thing. Like, so imagine for a moment watching Elmer Fudd scream Cthulhu Fogden and shoot Daffy in the face, only instead of fucked up beak and muttering of "this means war," he screams "he comes" and tentacles rip out of his form to molest wildlife.
What?
That's what's like smoking a page from the Necronomicon. Like, then the old man Henderson takes the blunt, smokes it, passes all the mental checks. And he's like, man, this is some good shit, you lightweight.
My sweet lord.
This sounds like something me and Michael would come up with.
Yeah, we totally.
Yeah, this dude trips fucking balls.
Cthulhu's tripping ball.
Old man Henderson's the fucking greatest. It was one of the greatest things ever. But there's another tabletop thing that I want to talk about, and this is on the darker side of tabletop RPGs. Has anyone here ever heard of Fatal before?
Oh God.
I hear a response. I hear an appropriate response. So I could tell one of them heard of Fatal before. Hoo boy, Fatal. Where do I begin? Fatal is a it's a system like D&D is a system, Pathfinder system. This is an RPG system, and I looked at the description. The full name of it is Fantasy Adventure to Adult Lechery. That's what Fatal stands for. Is, in theory, an RPG that lets neckbeards live out their rape fantasies.
What the?
That's the best way to describe it.
Wow. Okay.
Fatal is fucking weird as fuck.
English feminist screaming.
You literally have to roll for every single one of your character's features. Things that normal games would let you choose, you literally have to roll, and this includes anything from up to and including your the shape of your eyes, to how big your breasts are, to if you have a 5-foot dick or not, or to how big your anus is, how big the circumference of your anus is. Which
This is starting to sound more like Corruption of Champions, the tabletop game.
It's fucking disturbing, and you actually need like college level arithmetic skills to play it, because the arithmetic and shit involved in playing this is fucking intense. During fights, you can actually accidentally rape your opponent.
Oh, accidentally. That's in air quotes. You can't see them, but
Did you like accidentally trip on like a woman, and it's like, oh, whoops!
I accidentally slipped and my penis just went right inside her. It was an honest mistake.
You have things like your regular attack magic, but then you got weird magic like force fart and perpetual orgasm. There's a spell that you can cast. There's a spell you can cast on dead bodies that will make them look, sound, smell, and taste as though they were still alive but unconscious.
And taste?
Yes. And then there's the spell Fatal that kills everything in the world. It literally kills everything. And the best part is your spells can fail. Spells can be miscasted, and there's a variety of effects, including stuff like the next shit you take coming to life and trying to kill you. Gay ogres popping out of nowhere and trying to have butt sex with everyone nearby. And you can actually accidentally cast Fatal. You can accidentally cast the spell that kills everything.
Well, game over.
There's a reason why people do not play this game.
I love everybody going accidentally.
Accidentally, yes. Vagina teeth is a thing in this. Yes. There's special items in there, such as the jar of jerking off.
What?
Which, whenever a male opens the jar, they must pass a skill check, or else they'll be forced to stick their dick in the jar, jerk off into it, and then a baby is born inside the jar.
So it's literally a pocket pussy?
Yes. They literally have items that are ripped off of movies, guess where this item's from? It's called the Ring of the Lords.
Oh.
Is it
And there's also there's also the Mirror of Many, which is a ripoff from the Mirror from Evil Dead.
Oh my.
Yeah, there's the real challenge. Try to get a feminist to play Fatal with you.
Just don't tell it's Fatal. Or him, not gonna judge.
There's a cursed weapon that the wielder becomes named the weapon of Torturon. The wielder becomes obsessed with removing his victim's eyes and shoving them into his nose, the victim's nose, not the wielder's, and also takes up sunbathing naked on top of cottages, which is oddly specific and rather disturbing, especially given that one of the people that helped write the game, his name was nicknamed Torturon. So, can't make of that what you will. I accidentally raped. I was just trying to kill her. I didn't mean to rape her.
No, man, this is really pushing the limits for me now. Wow.
I think
There's an actual
this might
item.
be the point.
There's actually an armor called the Armor of Jewy Chewbacca. Whosoever dons this armor
You know
will
what?
acquire a nose twice the size and a manhood half the size. Further, the
Oh,
wearer
right.
will become extremely greedy and fight to the death for one silver piece.
Okay, I think this is the point where we need to wrap up the show. It's getting late, and
The things people come up with. There's a similar game made by someone in Japan. I think it was called Black Tokyo. It involves a lot of stuff like tentacle rape, which surprisingly, there's
Okay.
no rules in the game involving lollies. Surprisingly. There's no...
I think this is where we should just end before we get even worse.
Oh, we could dive
We're
deeper into depravity, my friend.
How about
We're gonna
no?
There's literally an RPG game system called Tournament of Rapists.
You know what? I really think
Stephen or Michael, pull the plug. Pull the plug.
No, wait. No.
That's it. Good night, everybody.
No, wait. Stop.
Bye.
I apologize. I do not hold any of these in my views whatsoever. Disclaimer.
Oh, okay. Well, there you have it, folks. Stephen is not a rape.
Stephen is
A
not
singular
a rape.
rape.
Stephen is not a rape.
The Race War RPG? What?
Yeah, there's a race war RPG, yes. Also, Fatal is actually racist. There's a lot of racist stuff in there, if you couldn't tell from the armor of Jewy Chewbacca. Porky, what is this and where are the lolly? That'd be Porky. Yeah.
Wouldn't it also still be Porky that would be asking, "Where's the Fudas?"
Where's the Fudas? There is rules involving Fuda in that. In Black Tokyo, there is rules involving Fuda. Though nothing about lolly. I mean, I guess that must be a single stroke of mercy from the person who made the game. Oh, the amazing depraved things people will come up with. What a fucking messed up shithole of a world.
Yeah, I mean, just look at Tumblr.
Oh boy. But
oh no, the feminists are going to complain at us again. Oh.
Oh no.
That's where you end the episode.
Chad is going crazy.
Reality. Wait, this is bad. This is bad. Fatal's real because fiction is reality. That's what you.
Reality is fiction.
Fiction is reality.
Reality is an illusion.
Nobody cast a spell or you might accidentally kill everything, God hoping.
You take
friction is reality.
Well, yeah, if you rub things fast enough, it'll start burning. You know?
And all you
Michael,
I would know very well about that.
Michael, I'm dying. Stop the episode.
All right. We're experiencing technical difficulties. Stephen is dying right now, so we'll be back next week with even more funny memes and insults and bad movies and stuff that's sure to piss someone off. So
it's not funny memes; it's dank memes.
There's no such thing as a funny meme.
Good night, everybody, and have a great week. And enjoy yourself, and don't forget to masturbate 3 times a day. Good night.